All right, let's talk about why you need a study binder for your NCLEX prep. Well, there are a few reasons. First of all, it's going to be very obvious. It's going to help you stay organized for the material that you have and section out those content. Second of all, it's going to help to have easy search of information for you when you do need to go back and revisit certain information. And the last one that I find that is going to be very beneficial is actually towards the later part of your study when you are gearing up for NCLEX. You just want a quick rundown and summative review of everything that you have. And this binder is going to do that for you. Because a binder, unlike a book you probably have to dig through certain information, even if you highlight it, to actually find that back. But with a binder, it's going to be a lot easier for you to pinpoint right away because you actually made that binder yourself. You know exactly where the information kind of lies. And before I begin this video, I want to give a quick shout out to Stephen N on my last video. He said, "Thanks for the tip. I did my first NCLEX on Friday, and yesterday I found out I failed. I used Uworld, did all the questions, and also Saunders, but I felt my studying was unorganized and I overlooked many topics. Because I was constantly going back and forth between topics, I definitely will start using a binder to organize notes and start a study schedule." Yes, Steven. First of all, thank you very much for checking out my video. And second of all, you are certainly not alone. This is definitely a lot more common than you think, and it is why I decided to do this video. I wish you the best of luck, Steven, on your journey. And welcome to Nursing Unveiled. Here we uncover all the tips and tricks on how to jumpstart a successful nursing career. Okay, so let's talk about materials that you'll need for this. So first, of course, you're gonna need is a binder. Now, depending on whether you are more of a writer or a typer, if you're a typer, then you're probably going to want something about maybe 1 inch to maybe even an inch and a half. I would say it's going to be really good size. Now, if you're like me and you're more of a writer, definitely something about a 2-inch and probably even higher, so that it will fit a lot of the notes that you need. Next, if you're a writer like myself, then you're definitely going to need a lot of binder paper because there's going to be a lot of notes to take. With that said, leave a comment down below and let me know whether you're more of a writer or you're more of a typer because I'm interested to see what the polls are like out there. Going right along, you want dividers and preferably you want dividers that do have a pocket in case if you have any flashcards, any just side notes that you cannot really, punch a hole into it. So you want to keep those in a folder. On a similar note, I'm going to highly recommend you to get some tabs because when it comes to certain charts maybe, then you want to actually tab certain things, then you will have it on handy. Other products I also highly recommend are sheet protectors and also any hole reinforcements. Now these products is going to help save those sheets within your binder, especially if you have such a thick binder. Imagine keep on turning those pages, it's probably going to start tearing apart. So definitely get these to help reinforce everything. Now you have all your material in place, let's really begin and making that binder. So first, you want to tab up all your dividers, and here are a couple things that will get you started: med-surg, maternity, pediatrics, critical care, mental health, pharmacology. Now for critical care and also med-surg, you may want to combine those two just because, they're kind of on the same track. But for the rest, you want to definitely divide them up. And personally, when it came to maternity, because that was my weaker subject, I definitely dedicated a separate binder just for that because there was a lot more reviewing for myself to do. So I want to dedicate a separate binder to that. Next step, there are 2 ways to go about this. First, you could either go into your own notes from previous classes and start from there, or you could go into your prep book. Now, the prep book I highly recommend is the Saunder's Comprehensive Review Guide. It does an excellent job. If you ever run into a topic that you just don't recall and you want to read up on it, then that is the review guide for you. It does a great job of summarizing the points. And also they have excellent charts and diagrams to supplement your studies. So this is the portion where you really start to take your own notes. At this time, I want to include an important tip, and that is to include any side notes. So for example, this page is on increased intracranial pressure, and on the bottom here, you see there is a line that says med, and right next to it is mannitol. That's highlighted, and I did not know exactly how mannitol works in the beginning, so I had it on the side that it is an osmotic diuretic, and what it does is draws from the extracellular fluid to the intracellular fluid, and that's how mannitol works for increased intracranial pressure to help relieve this condition. By doing this, all the needed notes that you want, it's right there on the paper. You don't have to do a separate search for what mannitol is, therefore you save yourself time that way. Once again, the goal here is to simplify your own notes or the prep book in a way that makes sense to you. Also, if you are having a hard time knowing where to even begin your note-taking, I highly recommend you the Nursing Educator's NCLEX Study Guide. Once again, nothing is sponsored in this video, just want to make sure I throw that out there. Her study guide, it's about $20 last time I checked, and it does a great job with summarizing a lot of points. The stuff she incorporates into that study guide are usually the high yield topics, so definitely check it out. The way how I incorporated her study guide into my binder is I would use her study guide as a skeleton for me to know where to begin and look through information. Then if there are points that I feel it's not very in-depth, then I will go back into either the Saunder's book or my Kaplan content review guide to further supplement more information into those notes. Third step, you definitely want to incorporate any great visuals into your study binder, such as any charts, diagrams, or pictures, etc. So to give you some idea to get you started, maybe any lab value charts, any cranial nerve charts, any burn percentage diagrams, and any testing procedure charts, and much more. So the way you can find these charts are either going through your prep book, of course your own notes, or a third way that I've recently found you can also go through is actually social media platforms. Instagram, sometimes if you hashtag certain things, they will pop up and they have great charts for you to review. Or through Pinterest. Pinterest actually have some great notes people actually post up for a small fee. However, there is a hack I'm going to show you guys as to how you can possibly get that for free. Alright, so what you're going to do is actually do screenshot, and how you're going to do that is by Command-Shift-4 on the Mac, and you're going to search up snipping tool if you're using Windows. Also, speaking of free information, I'm also going to leave a link down below for you to get the Saunder's prep book for free in the online format in case if you do not want to purchase one. Back to note taking. Now, there are two ways you can go about your remediation notes. The first way is to go about your remediation notes by reading through the rationales and writing notes on the content based on where you have that information within your binder. The second way that I did it is I would have my remediation notes in a separate binder. So towards the end, when I wanted to have just a rundown of just remediation notes, I have that in a separate binder. Also, when I go back to review certain information, it's easier for me because, especially since I was using the Uworld platform, as you noticed from my last video, they have an option for you to print out your notes. So what it does is it will actually print into PDF format. And how it works is on Uworld, when there is a question you want to take notes on, you click the note button, it lets you type out your notes, you save that, and each question that you save, each notes that you save, it will compile into a PDF format. And when you want to print that out, you hit the print button, and what it does is it'll also give you the question ID on each note that you have taken for that question, and it will refer back to which question it was for. Next step is completely optional, but what I did was I also incorporated my study calendar right into the cover of my study binder. So wherever I go, or whatever I'm doing, it's right there, and I could just reference it back to see what I need to study next or what I want to change up. Also, if you want a study calendar outline, I actually have one in my last video in part 1, so definitely check that out. I will also link it up here and also in the description box down below if you want to go check it out. In that video, I also talk about resources I highly recommend, what are some of the common mistakes people make, and also a little of my study experience since my school required me to take my Kaplan Predictor exam in order to exit from the nursing program. So overall, it really helps set the tone for your NCLEX prep journey. Now, I just want to warn everybody, this process can be very time consuming, but it's going to be very beneficial in the long haul when you are doing your last stretch of studying, especially. So try to get on it ASAP so you can dedicate more time to practicing full tests, and therefore you know how to manage your own time when the test comes around, and also you are practicing for those long duration of testing in which you have however number of questions you will receive. Now, of course, this binder is going to build on itself as you go along, because the more questions you're going to practice, the more information you may want to incorporate. Hence, you may want a bigger size binder. At this time, I want you guys to leave a comment down below what you would like to see in my next video in terms of NCLEX prep. I'm gonna have more ideas, but I just want to get a general feel as to what you guys like to see. If you like this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, hit the notification bell, and also subscribe to my channel. I have new videos every week, so stay tuned. Bye!